Well, we're here at the 103rd Pennsylvania Farm Show, and I'm blessed to be joined today by Secretary of Agriculture, Russell Redding.
Great to see you. Always nice to see you.
Always good to see you, too.
You. Yeah, it's good to see you.
Fantastic farm show once again this year. Hats off.
Thank you.
So tell us what's new this year at the farm show.
Yeah, well, we're proud of the farm market area. People want to know who's feeding them, right? They have this connection. They understand what a farm market is. We've had pieces of a farm market here by display, and we thought this year we'd really bring it all together, where you can actually have the honey and the apples and the cheese and vegetables, but you can also buy it, which is nice, right? So you walk in here, and you come into this main part of the complex, and you understand what's grown here, and importantly, who's growing it. So when you leave here, you shop throughout the year, you have a better sense of what Pennsylvania produces. So.
And I think that's so important for people to know, because we are what we eat. So what we eat, we should know where it comes from, right?
Absolutely, because it makes a big difference.
It does.
When you talk about both health concerns, but also who stays in the business, right?
Yeah.
We need a market. We need farmers who are producing it, but I want you as a consumer to buy it.
Right.
There's a transactional issue in here for us. So yeah, it's important to show that at the farm show.
So this year, I think it's the first time you have a craft brewing here at the farm show?
Yeah.
And
we just keep adding, we added the hard ciders last year.
Right.
Which have been amazingly successful, a lot of public interest. But this year we added the craft brews, 153, I think.
It's incredible
entries.
how that business has taken off in Pennsylvania.
It is incredible. Yeah. So first year, and really cool. I was over the other day when we did the presentations, and these are, some of them are new to agriculture. Others have farms that they've added a brewing to their product line. Okay. Farm markets. So that's the entrepreneurial spirit of agriculture that you find here. Really nice.
Now, do you see with any of these craft brewers that they're actually using grain or hops that's grown actually here in Pennsylvania, or
yes.
Is that really becoming a big thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. You can make it obviously with grains of imported, and there are some flavoring and some of the craft beers that they want certain characteristics. But we can produce the rye here, you can produce the barley here, you can produce the hops here. So we think that's one of those great opportunities going forward, of having those sort of specialty grains, even bred for this type of product.
So eat local, drink local, it's all great for Pennsylvania agriculture.
I think it's all here, and I think it's part of our story. Is I appreciate the diversity of ag, but I really want people in Pennsylvania to appreciate Pennsylvania agriculture. Right. And we need to keep that connection. That's what the farm show is about. Yeah. Hopefully people walk out of here saying, I didn't know that, right? That's amazing. Where did that come from? Right. Or the Pennsylvania Preferred, has a label. You look in the marketplace. That's our good housekeeping seal of approval.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's how you know it came from Pennsylvania. Yeah. So good things.
So we're talking about Pennsylvania Preferred. One of the industries that's had some problems over the last few years has been the dairy industry in Pennsylvania. Can you tell us, what's the state of the dairy industry? We have a lot of dairy farms in Lebanon County in the 102nd District. So talk to us, and we had a lot of them that lost a contract with Dean Foods. A lot of them have picked up a contract elsewhere. So talk to us about the overall state of Pennsylvania dairy industry, how we're standing internationally, how we stand versus other states.
Yeah, I'd love to tell you that things are a lot better, right? They're a little better. But I think from a state standpoint, we have, compared to a year ago at this farm show, we have a dairy development plan. We have the first time in state history a dairy investment program that you supported, and thank you for that, right? You have some dedicated dollars to actually put into marketing, into innovation, into technology. So that's all an improvement over the last year. We continue to struggle though with there's just too much of it. Right? And that's the equilibrium there, we still are searching for that. A big part of that is what happens internationally, what happens in trade agreements, and those discussions we're having, by the president and his team. But I remain hopeful. I mean, our key, I think, for the state is have a strategy, keep investing, make sure that we're doing the right things at the state level, of where to invest and push the innovation, try to spawn that through our economic development programs. and keep the conversation open between the milk processors and farmers. But at the end of the day, the really important part of this is, again, back to that consumption question, right? We saw when those farms lost their market in your district last year. What did the community do? They said, we want the local milk.
We want local milk.
Completely changed the conversation.
Yeah.
More people need to do that around the state to say, is this milk from Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Both in terms of nutrition, but also economics.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of education to be done on the lines of, people go and buy the almond milk.
Yeah.
It's not really milk.
Right.
It's almond juice, that sort of thing. And nothing against almond farmers.
Yeah, I get it.
We don't grow almonds in Pennsylvania.
Not here.
Okay.
No.
So
no.
everything against the almond farmers,
Yeah.
but it's not milk. I mean, that's nut juice. That's a different thing. So, and we have to re-educate people as to how healthy real milk is for you.
Right.
So, on another level that's very important in the 102nd district is the poultry business.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got that great, the chicken processing plants in Fredericksburg, and we've got a lot of farmers doing the poultry. So, what's the state of the poultry business in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
We talked over the last few years about avian flu. Has that threat kind of gone away, or are we up to snuff on being ready just in case something pops up this year?
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Well, very proud of Bell and Evans and what they've done. Scott Seckler and his team, just the innovation, his insistence of putting a quality product into these markets where the profit margins, where he's not going to compromise.
Right.
Right. And he's built a really important brand recognition around organic, around natural. So he's doing the right things. A great relationship with farmers. I mean, we continue to see that industry grow in Pennsylvania. So we want to see it, the market, the market impact that he's having, but also just on poultry in Pennsylvania continues to grow. The avian influenza, we've been very lucky.
Yeah.
Right. We've seen the devastation of that a couple of years ago. We have a lot of poultry in the state, a lot of opportunity for infestation on the avian influenza because of the truck traffic up and down 78, right? There's so many exposed there, but we're fine for the moment. The farmers are doing the right thing. We're taking those biosecurity measures that are so important. So
those scares put us in a position to get even more ready, just in case, right?
It was the tipping point. Short answer is yes, right? When folks realized what they saw playing out in Iowa. And the devastation because of biosecurity. That wasn't because of, they didn't know how to farm. Right. It's because they were walking the wrong places and driving the wrong places, right? Yeah. And that was a really important lesson for us to say, hey, we're doing that right here. Yeah. Let's tighten it up.
Yeah. All right. Just finally, let's talk about my favorite subject.
Yeah.
Industrial hemp in Pennsylvania. We are now going into the third year of the research program here in Pennsylvania. Of course, the federal government just, Congress passed a farm bill that basically deregulated hemp. Tell us about how that impacts what we're doing in Pennsylvania and how we expect to see things go in the future for industrial hemp in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I first want to say thank you, congratulations. I mean, I think that, when I think about where we were just a short time ago, and your leadership on the industrial hemp and saying, it's got opportunities for Pennsylvania, let's take a hard look at it, let's run hard. You pushed hard to make sure that we were doing the right things in the department. And I think we've got 2 good years of experience.
We do.
Now we're heading into 2019 with the Farm Bill that gives us a lot of wind in the sails. It deregulates. There are still some sort of issues with it.
Right.
But just to assure everybody, we have, we can take the acreage cap off, we can take the permit cap off, we can open it up beyond research. You get the full commercialization of it. There are some supply chain things that will come.
Right, including being able to go across state lines with some of the materials.
That's correct. You can do the interstate. We're going to allow in our program this year the interstate shipment of seeds.
Okay.
Right, we didn't want to do that before, but we feel like the Farm Bill, we can do that now, versus just international seed supply. We had some issues with that over time, both in terms of timing, but also importation process.
Right.
So we're anxious to see that. We have an industrial hemp steering committee. The last time I met with them, I was amazed at where they see opportunity from the advanced manufacturing of fibers to car parts, and human nutrition, animal nutrition. So really excited about 2019.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
2019, do you think it'll be the year it explodes, or do you think it'll take another year till 2020?
Well, I think you're going to see an explosion, a controlled explosion,
Okay.
right, if you will, right? Because I think folks are understanding now that there's a supply chain issue, right? You've got a manufacturing piece to figure out. You have a planting and harvesting component to figure out. You've got an agronomic piece to figure out, right? And you've got a final product to market piece. That's all reasonable. So I think folks are anxious. They're lining up. We've got a lot of interest and significant knowledge and science being applied to this issue by our best universities around the country. So,
and I happen to think it's thrilling
Yeah.
in that this is just in its infancy.
Yeah.
We have no idea. In 5 years, we may turn around and look at this conversation and go, did you have any idea we were going here?
Right.
And all the great things that might come out of hemp. So
Yeah.
I want to thank you for
pleasure.
for the department's work on that. You've been great stewards of that program so far.
Glad to do it.
And thank you so much for coming out and talk to us today. And
Good to see you.
once again, I'll see you at the 104th Pennsylvania Farm
We'll be
Show.
right here. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New
All
Year.
the best
God
to you.
bless.
Thank you. Yeah.